Yo, yo, yo. When kings talk, the conversation different, but y'all already know that. I'm your boy, Willing23 OG, big homie. Back at you once again with a special episode. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and get in tune with the motion, man. We're going to the top. It's a marathon. We're going to keep on running. Today's topic, why do black people hate each other so much? That's something I can never wrap my head around. I done thought about it from all different angles. I done put all kind of analytics on it. And you know, you can throw in this excuse and that excuse. Well, we here now in the right place and time, 2023, and we still let each other. After all we done blend through, the black race gets a double blow of hatred. One from the world and one from its own race. And I believe the one that comes from its own race is the worst one. Why do we hate to see each other succeed? Why do we always war against one another? After all our ancestors went through, how they paved the way, how they lost their lives, how they were separated from their family, their fathers, their mothers, their children. Why do the black people hate each other so much? It's something I never understand. And I'm a black man bringing this to the table. Talking to my black community. And for everybody else that's not black, please just let it fly, man. If you got any thoughts or comments, that opinions or any of that stuff, man, drop down in the comments. You can let me know your thoughts and opinions. More than likely, I want to hear from my black brothers and sisters. Why do black people hate each other so much? I'm just like you. You are just like I. We have the same background in America. Our ancestors endured the same pain. Our ancestors paid the same price. Here we are in the millennium, still warring with one another. It's like we hate to see one another succeed higher than us when we all have the same opportunity. That's something I never understand. We all had the same opportunity to reach goals, and to be better, and to lift one another up instead of tearing one another down. This is something I never understand. Some black people, they just succeed to try to look down on the ones below them. Yeah, we black, but look, I look a little better than you. Yeah, I got a little more money than you. Yeah, I can get in the places you can't get in. Just to look down on the less fortunate of their race. Just to be accepted by the people that still think the less of them. You can do everything in your power, man. Brother, you still are just a black man in America. And I hope this episode don't ruffle no feathers. I hope this episode don't cause no kind of drama or anything like that. But if it does, the truth hurts, and I'm prepared to deal with the truth. I'm prepared to die in that truth. I'm prepared for anything that comes with that truth. See, I have that type of spirit. Back in the day, you had a lot of black leaders that had that same spirit. And that's why now, living in 2023, a spirit like mine gets frowned upon. It's rare. You ain't seen it in a while. You ain't been around it in a while. And they run from that. They not comfortable with being around that. But why do our black people hate each other so much? Just like I want to see you do good, I want to see everybody do good, no matter your skin color. But when it comes to the black race, it seems like there's always some kind of issue or problem. And see, the rest hate to see the other rise. The crab and the barrel effect, man. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Now, you may sit back and watch this episode. You may not like it. You may not share it. You might even skip past it, man. But it's a message. It's a message. Only to the wise minds willing to wake up. willing to turn it all around, reverse the damage. That's my spirit, bro. I've been doing wrong for so long. This is my new right here. I've been doing wrong for so long. This is my new right here. Rise up out of that, young black man. Booker T. Washington, rise up out of that, black man. Martin Luther King, rise up out of that, black man. Malcolm X, rise up out of that, black man. Today's mathematics. You believe in being woke so strong, but you disregard the message. Why do black people hate each other so much after all our ancestors had to endure? The pain and suffering, living in harsh conditions. Here we are going against one another daily. And I sit back and I say, man, it has to be past untreated trauma. And then I even took it a step farther. It has to be encoded in the genetics, right? Because back in the day, they used to make us go against one another. And this is all documented. This is all facts. You can go back and look up the history of it. It's documented. They would pin us against one another. That's the separation. Make them hate each other. And they'll never really know who they are. My black community. It's time that we stand together. And not saying when we stand together that we go against everybody else. But all the other races, they have a code. They have a code of unity. They love one another. They love one another. The black community comes from broken homes. Whether the father's missing or the mother's on drugs. Hell, both of the parents on drugs. They grew up in the Texas Youth Commissions. Mama and daddy in and out of prison. Grandma raising them. Grandma of age, so she really can't control them. So they tend to the streets. And we all know what the streets formulate. We know what the streets create. And we continue to indulge in our own destruction, our own mind. And it's like a genocide at the same time, man. But a spirit like mine wants to talk about it. A spirit like mine want to bring it to the table. A spirit like mine, I see it and I just can't keep it on the inside. And for that, I may be the bad person. The only time we as a black community decides to come together is when we are the victims of other races. Then we feel some type of way. We should be feeling some type of way when we the victims of ourselves. You know who you are. We should feel some type of way when we the victim of ourselves. And no one can save us from this except ourselves. America has gotten way better from what it used to be. You still have some hidden agendas in the closet. You still have some racist bones in the closet. But for the most part, the black male, the black woman, the black family, the black race can succeed in America because our ancestors paved the way. Martin Luther King had a dream. Malcolm X, he lost his own life to his own black people for trying to spread the word. for trying to awaken his people. He lost his own life. His own people took his own life. And we see that so much today. And I know it's a million stories don't get talked about. It's a million stories that don't get talked about that we don't know nothing about. But the ones that reach the headlines, the ones that are in our community, off in the ghettos, those the ones we hear about. Those the ones that we see. And all we do is we just shake our head. But no one is willing to step forward and speak on it and do anything about it. I was debating on whether or not I was gonna do this episode because I know these type of topics come with ridicule. Who am I to discuss them? Well, I'm a black man. I can talk about my black race. And then I thought about, why you bringing racism up? I'm just talking to my black community. I'm not bringing racism up towards a white race against the black race or black race against the Spanish race. I'm acknowledging our own pain and suffering. I'm acknowledging our own enemy, the enemy with the same skin color. How can we unite as a whole, all around, when we can't even unite with each other? My black man, my black sister. Why do we hate each other so much? And we always try to seek to be accepted by the world, when all you have to do is just accept each other. The world see how great we are. Look at the athletes, the entertainers. The world sees how great we are. Jim Crow, he had it figured out. Jim Crow, he was a smart man. I done did my studies on Mr. Jim Crow. If you haven't read some of his books, I suggest you go read some of his books. I mean, he had this thing down. He knew how to infiltrate and break the black man. He knew how to break the black unity, infiltrate it, get us to go against one another, and we still haven't woken up out of it. We still haven't came to a place where we woke up out of that genocide. Brother against brother, sister against sister, mama against daughter, daddy against son, cousin against cousin. And it's more so only in the black community. How can we be so great but be so little in mind? And it's only a handful that rise above it and think articulately. Only a handful. Out of 100%, I say it's 5. Out of 100%, I say it's 5. That leaves 95. 15% is doing well and really don't care. The other 80%, they hate on the 15% and the 5 especially. In my mind, I try to grasp on what is it gonna take. With some of the biggest athletes in the world, some of the best entertainers in the world, we done invented almost 80% of the things here in America. And that's a fact. You can go look that up, Jack. That's a fact. You can go look that up. And the only thing that keeps us from being supreme is the fact that we always constantly go against one another. When will it ever end? When will it ever end? Is this something that's going to continue to occur? over and over and over and over again to the end of time? Is that trauma so bad that it can't be reversed? See, it's a psychological thing. You gotta think with a moral mind. Secondly, you gotta vibrate with that frequency. Not just what the world is showing you and telling you how things should be. You have to know how things should be. Why can't we be truly united like the other races of people? Why do the black people hate each other so much? Every other race has a code of unity. Every other race. And this the thing about it, when a black man rises up to go against the agenda of the culture, somebody like a Charleston White. When Charleston White first came out, you know, he was going against the grain, and he was speaking on things that needed to be spoken on. But we was wrapped up in the culture, right? How dare you go against us? Well, how dare you continue to indulge in damaging us? So I sit back and I started listening to the brother, and the brother has a lot of knowledge. He's very articulate and wise. So you got to pay attention to a spirit like that before you judge it. So you're going to show love to the one that's continue to bring us down and damage us and devalue us, our women and children. But to the one that's speaking on unionizing us, bringing us together, fixing us, we scrutinize. And I was a victim of that. I had a whole episode on Charleston White. You can go find it. But as I sit back and I really think with a moral conscience and a moral mind, right is right and wrong is wrong, your spirit will convict you of that. Your spirit will convict you of that. Even if you ignore it, you don't want to acknowledge it. Whether you're still trying to be accepted by this one and that one, your spirit will still convict you of that. And it's not until we wake up as a people, as a whole, will we get better. Yeah, we can reach heights of success and do all that for the world. But what are we doing for our people? What are we doing for the community that we live in? Until we fix that, we'll remain broken. Yeah, sure, we'll get a little bit of money. We'll get a little bit of fame. But at the end of the day, our culture will be loved and still hated by so many. And the hate that comes from our own kind is the worst. And I never understand it. And I continue to try to wrap my head around it. We even took the slander and turned it into a slang. Nigga. We took it and turned it to a slang. And I'm gonna tell you how messed up we are. This is how messed up we are. We'll call each other the N-word. What's up, my nigga? But then we'll get mad when somebody else does it. You're showing them how to treat you. Look, they don't care about each other. Look, they killing each other. Look, they breaking their own families up. The father's leaving. The mother's on drugs. Let's push this dope in the community. Let's lock that father up. Section 8, the father can't even be involved, or you get kicked out of this free housing. Oh, you want government assistance? You want some food stamps? You want us to feed you? Well, you can't make this certain amount of money. So with that being said, you can't make this certain amount of money, so you ain't gonna really prosper. You really ain't gonna go to the next level. It's fixed. It's a fixed game. It's rigged. With no intentions on us for winning. But it's only until we come together. It's only until we come together and realize that we're precious and that this black skin is everything. This melanin is everything. And not even to say that we're better than any other race, because that's not what we own right now. Because a lot of people, they'll take that and try to twist it and make it seem like, oh, he's saying that the black race is this above the other race. And you know how they do it on the internet. You know how people form an opinion. That's just to try to redirect you from the message. My brother, my sister, I want to take the time out to really tell you that I love you. I want to take the time out to tell you that I hope you reach the successes in life that your heart desires. My brother, my sister, I want to tell you, I hope you live up to the full potential that God above, the Creator, has in store for you. And if I want it for my own people, I want it for all the people, not just my own. They say in order to change the world, you got to start in your own house. You got to fix what's in your house first. Because what's in your house walks outside of it. And when it goes out into the public, when it goes out into the public, it mixes with everything else. So we got to fix our households first. We got to stop allowing our households to be broken. We have to stop allowing our households to be dysfunctional. We had to stand up as a people and say, you know what? We deserve it just like everyone else deserves it. And you can even say even more because of what we've been through in the past. No other race of people had to endure what the black race has endured. They tried to turn everything black and make it bad. You know, over in Africa, man, back in the ancient time, the Egyptian times, man, the black cat was worshipped. The black cat was a good thing. Then we come to America, everything black is bad. But they love the culture. We love the culture. Anything black on black is clean. Look at that black on black car. Somebody wearing all black. Man, they look good. Today I wore all white for a reason. Today I wore all white for a reason, man. To show you and I, we pure. Just like the rest. My black people. At the end of the day, I think it's untreated trauma. It's untreated trauma. And how can, this is the thing, how can you treat a whole race? Psychologically. How can you treat a whole race psychologically? because you have all kind of distractions. We all trying to make it. We all trying to be successful and rise up out of the slave mentality from where our people came from. We all trying to look better than the next. Oh, y'all still struggling? What y'all been doing? My conditions ain't like this. No, man, we ain't dealing with all that. We need to rise above and stop being ignorant. Killing each other over red and blue. That shows the mindset, man. That shows the mindset. You vibrating at a low frequency. So you telling me our ancestors, they died and got raped and murdered and hung for trees and beaten and burned alive for only us to finally get some equality, but still go against one another. Still wants to be gangsters and thugs, pimps and players. They went through all that for us to downgrade our women. They went through all that for us to shoot one another. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case at all. We wanted freedom so bad, but we still locked in chains from one another. We wanted freedom so bad to only shame one another when one reaches success. Once they see one doing well, they got something going on. You know, they may start a business or something like that, and the black people won't even go support them. I see it on a day-to-day basis, and even in my own community, my own small town. I see it, and I shake my head at it because, like, what's that really about? What's that really about? I never understand it. No matter how many angles I look at it, no matter how many excuses that I hear about it, I never understand it. And there's probably some people in my small town, my small community, that are like skin color as me, that can't stand me. And now that I have stripped myself naked to get on here, now that I done put myself in the public eye, not sitting behind a tweet, not sitting behind a Facebook post or Instagram post, but to go here visually. See, it's something about the visual. You can read the facial expressions. When you hear the voice, you can look into the eyes and see the emotion. You can see the passion when one speaks. And I done heard the slander from my own black community in the small town that I stay in, unknowingly, that you have another black brother that's trying to do something and rise above the odds that they done set for me already. They want me to be locked up forever. They didn't want me to live on this side of town that I stay in with the background that I got. See, we all damaged, and I'll be the first to admit it. And what I'm doing now is I'm trying to redirect that. I'm trying to put some healing on that, put a Band-Aid on it, and begin the healing process so I can be better. And that young black boy that young black girl, can see my progress and say, if he can do it, I can do it. If he can come out of it, I can come out of it. The damage, redirecting, reversing the damage, because there's nothing like hatred from your own kind. And I feel some type of way about this episode. It got a lot of pain and emotions in it. And I'm the type of person that wears my heart on my sleeve, and I can't help it. Whether that makes me look soft, which I don't care nothing about, makes me look lame, I don't care nothing about. My grandmother told me, man, a long time ago, she said, baby, you're emotionally intact. And growing up in the world that we living in, you're gonna have to be careful with that, because the world ain't so loving. My grandmother told me that. R.I.P. rest her soul, Miss Tommydale Nickerson. She said, baby, you're gonna have to be careful with that, because the world ain't so loving. And she used to give me examples within our own family. That's how real my grandmother was. She used to give me examples within our own family, how we go against one another. And I used to be a victim of that. And I used to also be a predator of that too. Ain't none of us innocent. And for the black families that are together and thriving, that come together and want to see one another do good, man, listen, man, I have to applaud you. I have to. Y'all are doing a wonderful job. Y'all are being a wonderful example of how it should be. You know what I'm saying? And when I see it, I rejoice. When I see it, I rejoice, man. Because it's a beautiful thing to see black excellence, to see black unity. Because the black person seems to hate each other so much. It's like we look in the mirror and we don't like what we see. Because where we at in the country has said what we look like is not worthy enough. And I think that we have took on that burden. I think that we have maybe been convinced by it just a little bit. But I love my black skin. If I was to die and had to come back, I wouldn't want to be nothing other than a black man. Even if I had to be a black man back in slavery. Because this is who God wanted me to be. And to have the mind and the spirit that I have, man, I think it's beautiful. Even though I have to go against the grain, even though I have to speak on things that people may not understand, because we living in a time. We living in a time where people disregard the truth. We living in a time when people don't want to bring the real issues up hand, even if we in the wrong. If I do something wrong, man, I can stand on it. I'm not gonna run from it. You got any dirt on me, bring it up. Throw it in there. Because I'm not ashamed to admit I've been broken too. I'm not ashamed to admit that I've been damaged too. I'm not ashamed to admit that I didn't have it all together back then. But don't bring my past up just to ridicule me, devalue what I'm trying to do now. Black people, why do we hate each other so much? When one black person starts to succeed, you have some that'll cheer them on because they happy to see somebody else that looks like them reach a new height. But then you'll have some in the background over there, hating it, despising it, slandering it. He think he all that. They think they got it going on. Oh, they done started a little business. Girl, I ain't buying nothing from them. Man, F that dude, man. I ain't who he think he is, man. Where's the love? Where's the unity? Where's the support from our own black people? And I wonder, will there ever come a time where we together? Or will we always have to get killed first before we side to unite? Will other races have to continue to inflict us, victimize us for us to always come together and support one another? We teach them how to treat us. If they see that we don't got no love for one another, how can they even display love for us? Black people, why do we hate each other so much? And with this message coming from me to my black people, I will be hated for even pointing it out. But see, if I had to choose between love and hate, I would choose hate, because then I would know it's real. Because people can pretend well, they can pretend to love you. But if they hate you, you'll really know. You'll feel it. You'll see the steam. You'll recognize them eyes. But I gotta let you know, I'm not doing this just for me. I'm doing it for you too. If I win, you win. We win. Willing 23, man. When Kings talk, the conversation different, but y'all already know that dope. Drop down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and opinions, man. I want to really get some information from my people to even kind of help me understand. Preach one, teach one. We doing it. He say, put the message out there. Let them hear from you. Let your spirit talk. So when my spirit begins to talk, and these the type of things that come out, only like minds can comprehend. Only like spirits will recept it. But then they'll go hear some stuff from some people that don't know nothing about them, don't care about them at all. And they'll run with that and disregard someone of their own kind. Did Martin Luther King die in vain? Did Malcolm X die in vain? Did the Black Panther Party waste their time? Was it all for nothing? Oh, for sure, we got diamonds and gold. We looking good. We shined up wearing designer and all that old shit, but we still broken mentally. Is that to cover up the scars? Is that to cover up the pain? Because I'm going to tell you, when your spirit done received the blow, when your spirit done received the scar, no fabric can cover that up. No jewel can cover that up. Reach one, teach one, they say. My pops say, we'll just do it. Even if they hate it, even if they don't like it, if the truth is in it, let it go. If the truth is in it, let it go. I continue to shoot it out week after week. The people may be tired of seeing me. The people may be tired of hearing my voice. But if I was to lead this world, tomorrow or the next day. They would go back and reflect on the things that I was saying. My children will get to see a different side. My children will get to see and hear their daddy's spirit. See, what's on the inside of a man will come out. You got to remember that. What's on the inside is always going to come out. That's for sure. No matter how you try to hide it, how you try to cover it up, what's on the inside will truly come out. My black people, why do we hate each other so much? If you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button, man. We're keeping it running. We're keeping it rolling. We ain't gonna stop for nothing. I'll die before I stop. God, I had to take my tongue out my mouth for me to stop. I had to be disabled before I stop. Because I believe in it so much to awaken the people. Not just my black people, but of all races. I believe in it so much. I had some people tell me I was crazy from doing what I'm doing now. I had some people call me weird for doing what I do now. And if I have to be subject to that, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I no longer want to follow the leader. See, when I was following, I was bumping in all kind of walls. I was taking all kind of L's when I was following. Now I done started a leadership of my own. I decided to redirect my path and only be around the other successors. And when I started to gain, and reach goals, I didn't look down. I didn't look down on my counterpart. I invested my own money, my own time to try to pull them up, to try to wake them up so they can be all that they were meant to be. And I could tell you, it's a lot of other things going on in the world that you can pass judgment on, that you can hate, and that you can slander on, and yeah. Even if you don't like it, just respect it. And I'm not looking for no type of recognition or fame or money up out of this. I do it from the heart. The words that I speak, they come with a passion. It's my spirit. It's authentic. It's real. When you see me, I'm the same person. I'm not saying that I'm better than anyone. You could take me to the hole in the wall, or you could take me to the crystal ball, and we can have a time. My black people, why do we hate each other so much? Where's the love? Where's the unity? In these days and times, we all need to stick together as one. But how can they love us if we don't even love ourselves? I'm out.